the STB Racing League Season 17 British Grand Prix. We return to the home of motorsport and the home of STB, where most of the drivers are from here in STB. But we're here for what is going to be a very, very special British Grand Prix. Another full lobby for Tier 1. We're been very good in terms of numbers here, but we're back at Britain, and last season was an incredible race. We had a very surprise podium for DJ Danny and F1 Gravity. Both drivers didn't really expect to have that last season. That was on the last game, so hopefully they'll remember that and try to bring that forward into Silverstone. I'm joined again by Rigsy X, again joining me in the commentary box. Rigsy, we're back in Britain. How are you feeling ahead of Britain? And yeah, what do you think of last week's race? It was probably the best race of the season. So, how are you feeling ahead of Britain tonight?
I think Britain has big shoes to fill if it's to follow the hype for last week. We had one of our best tournaments, one of our best races of the season in Spielberg, and we're very much hoping to carry that over. Well, they expected that. And especially for, as you were saying, the home for many drivers, it's also the home of British motorsport as well as the home of Formula 1 itself, technically, because this is where the first ever race was held back in 1950, so a little bit of trivia there, but quite a lot of symbolic attraction to this circuit as well, to the drivers, to the fans, to the actual sport itself, and with the track being like 80% on the throttle, then I'm very much looking forward to seeing some high-speed entertainment.
Definitely, but also some high-speed crashes. And how difficult is it to go side by side around this circuit, do you reckon, Rigsy?
I think most drivers, especially of STB's calibre, can deal with battling side by side through most of the turns through here. The only place I don't really expect too much to be happening is through the fast Magnussen-Beckett section in Sector 2. I don't think anybody will be... I don't want to say stupid, I think it's a strong word to say, but I think there'll be a lot of sensibility in the drivers' racecraft not to go through there side by side unless they 100% know they're going to make the move stick. But I think everywhere else in the circuit is fair game.
Yeah, no laps have been set, but we've got AMS and Dan 1 on a lap at the moment in his Red Bull. Full-time seat now, Rigsy, up in that Red Bull. So it's going to be a very important race for him to prove himself. Mercury goes P1 there, 124.5. I think the pole position we're looking at where it is a 23. Dan goes P2 on 24.6. Placky there, P1, 24.4. So yeah, looks like the gaps are quite close. Danny there, probably made a mistake on his lap, 25.3. Libero, 26 dead. Really good lap from him there, 24.6. This is the time that's in Rigsy, where we just, set their banker lap times, see what Davison can do. 24.3. That goes a bit quick. I see it's pretty close, Rigsy.
As drivers, they'll just try and get their banker laps in these early stages, but as you were saying, qualifying pole time will probably be a 123 once the track gets into its best condition, once the track's been rubbered in, once the drivers are familiar with their setup, with their reference points, with their skill through the track, we can definitely see these times tumbling down. And I think, once again, Maldi, as Bruno Wall was already closing in on that 23 there, still a 24.1, but he isn't too far off the reference point that you had just gave. But I think once everybody gets up and running, like the second runs, even the final runs, we'll be able to see some of the drivers in the high 123s and maybe even the mid 23s if they can properly pick up a lap.
Yeah, definitely. So, Rigsy, in Austria, we had a very interesting race. We had a great battle between Bruno Will and Davison. From what I remember, I think it was Davison that won the race, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruno had the penalties as well.
Yes. So, yeah, Davison was able to close in the gap. So he needs to, he needs to beat Bruno Will here this evening. What do you think about the possibility of that? Because we have got some good drivers at the front here.
I think, no, I don't think it's like, because you were talking about the championship gap last time out as well, and the gaps came down to into the teens. I think it's like 17 points. You mentioned last time
so.
out, so it's not exactly like it's not like a red alert per se. Like, we are just hitting the halfway point of the season. We are only at Silverstone. We'll still get the other half of the European season as well as the final flyaways to contend with. And that's when the championship will be decided. It'll be decided in the flyaways. I don't think Bruno will have it and he's local to confirm it at the end of the European season. So I think Davison does have some time, but of course you want to get the upper hand as much as you can on your rivals. So Davison will probably try and build on his momentum for last time, and maybe even with the fact that I don't want to like be the one that kind of looks like I'm trying to stir the pot, but the Mercedes, like, because Bruno, oh, we've got Jules spinning at cops there, so just to kind of cut myself off there, Maldy, but he was on a lap there. But to talk about Mercedes, like, this isn't a critique of Mercedes in any sense of the form, but they are both very good drivers, and Hamjam himself has shown time and again that he is one to go and win races as well as his brother as well, so they can even get themselves in the mix as well. And Bruno will probably not want his teammate getting in the way, so maybe Davison needs to kind of just maybe focus on his own race, and Mercedes might have a week in a civil war of their own, because Hamjam's looking to win the championship as well. Everybody's looking to win the championship. They want to get themselves in contention. But because Bruno Will has kind of been a bit outshone by his teammate in the last few races, that's definitely going to get under his skin. So
Evan Gravity, sorry.
A lot to take in.
Barclays group penalty for collision with KF Libero, so we'll see what's going on down here with Libero. So we'll still see there's been some contact. He's spun around. There has been some contact around at the back there. So yeah, as I was saying previously, Austria was such an incredible race. We had battling literally every single lap. Do you think it's going to be the same around here? Do you think what do you think this track offers for taking opportunities like Spialdo?
I think there's plenty of overtaking opportunities. More of them are in high-speed straights. There's no really too many heavy braking zones really when you kind of look at the grand scheme of the track. Like, because overtaking into Cops is brave, into Stowe is a high-speed right-hander. The hard braking zones that I'm seeing is into turn 3, which is Farm, into Brooklands at turn 6, and then even into Vale, wherever he's just kind of lining up for a lap, and Limerose just went off the track there to avoid the Ferrari. I think he was on his lap there. Kevin, it's the other Ferrari of Norris, as he was on a lap as well. But I think overtaking can be it can be anywhere really, and plus we've got 2 DRS zones here into Brooklands and into Stowe as well, so we're going to definitely see some side-by-side action through those 2 sequences as well.
Right then, I'm going to get Gravity in for a quick interview just to see what happened, what happened. Ask a few questions, see what happened with him and Libero. He did pick up himself a 5-flash grid penalty, so probably will be at the back of the field here in Silverstone, but we'll see what he says. Sector 2 lag. Alright, so Rick Steve, we'll see what he can do in the first sector. He's up.
26, 7. Yep.
Let's have to turn that wheel. Nice. 6 is up. P2 for him. We're qualifying as well for Billy. He left his currently in P3, 24.2. Again, very close as we'd expect in Tier 1. Before Deadman is in, Bruno needs to be on it.
Definitely building on his confidence, his motivational boost there for the last time out. Definitely kicking in there with a 24-0.
Bruno goes to 10 foot rig save.
This close as he comes through Stowe.
This could well be a 23. He can hook up the final sector into the chicane. Locking up on the inside there. And the final corner. Oh, dead, it's P1.
so close. I think that lock-up might have maybe cost him a few fractions, but he still made the apex. So whether to determine time was lost there or not is kind of that ambiguous question you can ask yourself.
So, Ritzy, obviously, also with a new driver here this evening as well, in TMR off Ale. He's from Italy, and he's here for racing today. He's trialling for both Tier 1 and Tier 2, so it'll be interesting to see what he can offer. He can offer here in Britain. So, Ritzy, Austria, if we cast our mind back, sorry, we just got him through his visas left the session. Who surprised you last week in Austria? Who do you think had a standout performance, and who we need to look out for here today?
I think looking at what Austria provided, it did provide everybody a real opportunity to get some serious points, because Austria is the shortest track on the calendar, it's one of the quickest tracks on the calendar, and time gained or lost can mean chunks of position rather than just 1 or 2. So you could gain 5 but just gain an extra 10. That's how close the track was. But to actually talk about who stood out, if I'm casting my mind back to it, there was a lot of battle at the front between Dazin and Bruno Will, was to be expected because they seem to be the main title protagonists there as well. And Ham and Jam had a good strong race as well, and they went on to different strategies as well. Looking at the Alfa Romeos, they had strong runnings as well, and I think, if I remember right, they kind of ran in, I think Merkel kind of ran into Golden some penalties.
Yeah,
the order.
P11 he got, didn't even get a point from the Austrian Grand Prix.
And if there's one driver that I'm quietly optimistic about, but knowing how the commentators' course works, I've probably ruined any real chance for him now. But I'm sure Libero won here last time in season 16.
Yeah.
The late safety car. So maybe this is his happy hunting ground, and he can maybe get another strong result.
He's only in P14 at the moment. He's not doing a very respectable lap times.
I don't think, I mean, with respect, I don't think he's going to be in with a shout for the win unless the exact same thing happens. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see him in the points at come the end of the race. So he'd probably be a driver that I'd be looking out for as the race progresses. And plus, I think he did end up getting the same as Mercury. He ended up getting penalties removed, and he was in the points for Austria as well. So he'll be looking to build on that as well.
Who's that? Sorry.
Libero.
Okay. I've just been looking at Norris here. He's quite excited to see how he's driving this circuit. It's very yeah, he's having a lot of issues with his back end, from what I just think. So yeah, he needs to get that corrected to have any chance in this race.
Yeah, definitely looking to try and balance. Obviously, the wings, I think drivers will probably go for like a skinny front wing, but like probably go for a bit more downforce at the back, so they've got stability through the high-speed turns. So I feel like that's how they might set up their car. So to see somebody with a bit of a loose end at the back, kind of will say to me that they are probably trying to run skinny wings at the front and the back, and that's probably creating an imbalance in the car. So I feel like they might have got their setup just a tad different. I don't want to say wrong, because some people like a bit of oversteer, other people like understeer. Yeah. Like some people like just hitting it right in the middle. Like people's driving styles really play into their setups, and that's what makes the driver's skill set so important and so varied. As we see Billy just letting Kevin go, because Billy's messed up his lap somewhere, but Kevin's away by, he's in P5 and he's just a 100th of a second off Ham Jam in P4, and we'll see how he goes through Magus and Beckett's. It's a right, then downshift to a left, and then a double downshift to the right again, exit a chapel. DRS line is there, it's a very tight exit, it's done by a 10, So he's got it all today in Stowe as he's got the racing point of somebody in front getting ready to set up the lap, and there's a wee bit of a traffic jam forming. The valet has got to move it the way I've probably put his name, so apologies to him in advance. But through Vale, on to Club, through the final turn there as well, up to the line. It's a 24.3 and it's no improvement. He stays P5 and he will have time to go again, but the tyres will probably have seen their best lap performance, best one lap performance anyway, so it will really just depend how he manages to keep his tyres alive on this cool down lap, so to speak. But everybody has come back out in track. Maldy, this is the final runs.
Yep,
this
the
long time of the session.
Get interesting now. Checker then trying to go on space lap against a lap yet. He needs to not go off onto the artificial grass there. He needs to try and find some time. Right, Bruno will then. Who's going to get more position? Big Steve Davison's up on his time in the first sector. All about Magnussen Beckett.
Magnussen Beckett, he's going. DRS line is
there. He was using that curb temp up. Here we go. This could well be a 23 if he doesn't mess up the final sector. He's to go lap 4. Davies in here. And this is for the championship as well, so this is so important. Bruno wheels up as well.
That TMR O'Falley has crashed at the exit of Chapel as well in sector 2, so yellow flags will be out there. Drivers will need to slow down. But
23.8.
Davison doesn't need to slow down.
23.8 for Davison. It could be detrimental to Bruno World with yellow flags in the second sector. Is this going to be pole position? Sorry, Riggs, to keep cutting you off. Is it going to be pole position for Bruno World? Is it going to be Davison? This is crucial for the championship, we'd see. I'm so big for it. Into the chicane. Davison at the moment is on pole position. Right, Dit's up as well now. We're going to keep an eye on him. He's invalidated it, so he won't be improving. Billy is invalidated as well. Danny's gone slower. Mercury's down slightly in the second sector, but he is matching his time at the moment.
I'm on board with Jam Maldy, who's just coming through the final sequence of corners just now as he looks up into Vale through Club. Looks to hook that up quite nicely there up to the line. It is going to be a 24 and it hits some upper place, so P9. Mercury and Jam switch at the death. Anybody else that we can see on the lap?
Right.
Victor McFly's up
Victor
there.
McFly's up by a 10th, yeah.
And through Stowe, the fuel light is flashing as you'll see on the bottom right hand side of the screen, so I don't know if that's going to play a big part on his final run here through the final sequence of turns as the checkered flag is waving and all these lap times are going to be final. It's a 24.2 and a 6.
I think that's his best qualifying today in STB this season, Rick said.
Definitely, Victor McFly is hitting new heights.
Good effort there from Victor McFly. Mucho amor. Spain. Billy then, he ain't for him. That's a decent qualifying, you know, from McLaren.
And I think that's everybody. I think that's them all done the laps of top 3. I don't think Oro and the Virgin improving. I think they're all just coasting in. Yep, they are. They're all just kind of driving side by side. Is they're going to be coming in hits.
Joe's left the session. What's happened there? Davison is retired. So yeah, Riggsy, Davison is going to take pole position. This is his opportunity. This is his opportunity, Riggsy, for the World Championship. You know, to get that gap down to 10 points. You know, if he beats Bruno Will by 7 points, gets 7 points more than Bruno Will, he's potentially got the gap down to 10 points, and that is very, very important. You know, going into the break week next week, we are on a break week next week. The guys will be able to focus, rest a bit, and then move on to Budapest.
I think looking at that grid as well, Maldy, if there's one thing that there is worth noting is looking for just looking for P3 to P18. That's
EQR Jack is.
Separating everybody.
Don't know who EQR Jack is, but
oh, he's away now. You've scared them off. But it is an all-Brazilian front row here at the home of British motorsport, as it is Davison that does lead is away at the 5 lights come race day with a solid 23.8 to put him on pole position. Bruno Will joins him alongside. Ham Jam, strong lap at the end there, puts on P3, AMS Plackey, P4 on the Red Bull. Seat saying Victor McFly, after his strongest qualifying session, ends up 6th on the day. Kevin in 7th in the Ferrari, Billy 8th in the I was going to say the Ferrari as well, in the McLaren, and it's DJ Danny and Jam Ham rounded at the top 10. Mercury just getting pushed at the top 10 right at the death. Dan in 12th, O'Fallon in 13th, Julius, Charkats, VZ, Gravity, Liberal, Shark and Norris at the back of the field, and Gravity has a 5-place grid penalty to contend with, so he'll be starting P20, which means everybody at the back will be pushed up one.
I'm sure they'll be very happy with that, but
16.
What is the race going to offer with weather, Reece? Are we going to get a bit of rain? I don't think so, 'cause it's very dry, but this is the United Kingdom, and anything can happen in the United Kingdom weather-wise.
Again, if we time your if it's the right time of year, you get the 4 seasons in the one day, as they like to say. But I don't think that will be the case here. The skies look fairly clear to me. Wee bits of cloud in the sky there for what we can see just above the pit building. So I don't think there'll be any real threat of rain. But what we can suggest to the viewers is the idea that there will be a differentiation in terms of strategy. Top 10 will need to start on the softs, because the rule is if you're in the top 10, you need to start on the tyre that qualified, that got you through, or you put on that time with. So, but I think we'll see a fair few people outside the top 10 maybe starting on the mediums and even maybe the hard. So I think there'll be a real difference in strategy.
We've got Gravity on a set of mediums, we've got BC Church on a set of mediums, Ibros on a set of mediums, yeah, so not to be fair, I would think that most of the drivers outside the top 10 would start on mediums, but they're not. You know, we've got Norris, Shark, and Joel on a set of soft compound tyres here. I don't think Joel's actually going to make the start though, because he's doing the formation lap at the moment. We'll see if we can get him an invite. But Reece, talking through them the strategy, what can we expect from especially the drivers outside the top 10, how can they benefit from being on those soft mediums?
Well, being on the medium tyres, obviously they're looking to go longer on the first stint. The pit strategy is, you just saw at the bottom of the screen on my screen, I don't know if you saw it, Maldy, but it gave us the two suggested strategies. The main one will be soft to mediums for the soft runners, and their pit window is at lap 10 to lap 12, so they'll be looking to stretch the softs as long as they can on the first stint. About lap 10, and then they can jump on the mediums at the end, and if the tyres can't last that long, they can jump in a lap or two early and go in the hards. But gonna have to weigh another factor as well, like safety cars, for example. If there's an early safety car, the medium runners are kind of immediately put on the back foot. The soft runners can take that as an advantage. Hard tyres can go to the end for lap 3 if you can manage it, but there is a high risk of a puncture.
Yeah,
that's tried and tested by yours truly, but like I think tyre management, if there's an early safety car, tyre management will be key to a good race result. Medium runners will probably be looking to last about lap 15, 16 for softs, and then they'll go for a final sprint to the end. But I doubt they'll go medium hard, Maldy. I think they're going to try and make the mediums last as long as they can, and just go medium to soft and go in the quicker strategy, because if you're already starting on a slower strategy, you don't want to go on an even slower strategy when it comes to your pit window.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously as the drivers now lining up, yeah, you can see that 10 to 12 is the pit window for the top 10. But yeah, very high deg. We get tyre deg. I can't say the word here in Britain. Who's going to win the British Grand Prix?
A British driver.
A British driver. Well, I'm going to go for Davison. Here we go then. We've got a bit of a glitch start here. again. Here we go, it's 2 lights. Rigsy, it's 4 lights, it's 5 lights for the British Grand Prix. It's round 12 of the season. Job start for DJ Danny Lars, and away we go. Great start there from Davidson. He already leaves by about 2 car lengths there. They go down into the first corner, and now going to the first sector now. Here we go, round the outside. 3 drives off the track there. We've got the Ferrari of Kevin getting involved. Now we've got Billy up the inside of him. P number 9 now. He's going to try and get involved in this action. We're going to look at the back of the field, Rigsy. Anything happening? Not really. We've got VC at the back of the field. Looks like there's some sort of contact. Norris is down there as well with Gravity and Libero. We've got a bit of action going on, but apparently Joel on my screen's leading the race, Rigsy, but no, it's Davidson who's leading. Followed by Bruno Well, followed by Zitzi. Good start from him there.
It's just, I'm trying to like just look at all the drivers because most of them are going to even 3 wide into some of these turns. I saw the McLaren, Ferrari and the Haas, like in the mid-pack, gone 3 wide through turn 3 and 4. And I've seen Billy and DJ Danny continue to go side by side, and Jamham's just got an absolute brilliant launch off Cops, and he's took DJ Danny get into Maggots and Beckett's, and they're going to go side by side. DJ Danny holding it around the outside, is going to go inside for Chapel. He's going to
Mercury's going to get compromised now on the back of Dan. Dan's going to be decision. 2 Alfa Romeos battling. Is going to be some sort of team orders here. We've got Dan now rounding outside. Dan is going to go defensive.
On contact there, Maldi. Sorry, and that's a little VCRL shark up the inside of the pair of them.
It's incredible. Up the inside then, Dan's going to... So Dan, yeah, going to stay in P13. P12, sorry. LA is in P13. Dan's in leads by 6 tenths. That's a great start. That is what he needed to do here in Britain. Apparently DRS is enabled and Mercury's leading. That's incredible.
Just timing again, Maldi.
Check
I
out,
don't know
sorry,
why
Rigsy. Sorry, Rigsy. Checks up the inside of LA. LA's debut here, and he's got Cherkat for company's teammate. Here we go then, so it's going to be slipstream for Cherkat, Rigsy.
And he's not really using his overtake, he's not really seeing it as an opportunity to get past his teammate. And this is going to be like when we come through the race. There's just going to be like this. It's similar to Austria, no 100% similar, but they kind of take the same idea. Big straights, fast corners, DRS trains, slipstream trains. You're going to be able to manage your ERS if you're in one of these trains, and you're going to allow the driver at the front to run other ERS to try and break the slipstream. But because the toe is so powerful on these straights, you're just going to see these trains form.
Oh, sorry, see Jamham down the back of Kevin. Jamham's not having a very good race, is it? They're in like P3, P4. He's down in P9 at the moment, so that's not a very good start for him.
He had a really good launch off Cops on the first lap, and he's going to get FNT Kevin up the inside here into Vale. Kevin's trying to get on the outside, but Jam says, I'm just going to let the car roll out on the outside.
Look, he's going to follow through as well, it looks like. Look, he's got good grip on the mediums at the moment.
And I feel like the medium runners will really start coming into play about lap 6. I feel like the soft tyres will start to fade away around about that period. So the soft runners will need to make the best of it now before the tyre life starts to fade. But Mercury definitely looking to be in good stead, as he is the first of the medium runners, and he is the only medium runner in the points.
Yeah, it's a very good start from Mercury. You're going to try and get the move done on Kevin, but you can't do it. But Kevin is struggling in these opening stages of the race, weeks here.
There we go. It's a wee white arrow to see what driver you're clicking to spectate. But I'm back on the front battle now that Davison and Bruno Will are within half a second each at the front. Davison did have a healthy gap. It was 8/10 of a second.
Yeah, that
Bruno
DRS.
Will's managed to half that in a lap.
DRS
DRS is enabled. Oh, and he's going to go for it. He's close enough. He's up the inside.
Davison, go defensive, Davison! Davison, what move is going to have Zitzi as well. This is going to have a front row seat VIP ticket for the back of this battle.
And Davison, with a very wide line through Stowe, he's able to keep the place, but how much longer is he going to keep the lead? Bruno Will isn't he going to look up the inside into Abbey, but is he going to look into the inside of Farm? No, quite. Woke up on the front right.
He's going to be very close at the moment. He's going to have double slipstream as well, double DRS.
The double slipstream is so effective when you're close enough, Maldi, as well, but Seats is not quite there. But neither's Bruno Will, to be fair. But he's going to have Hamjam up the inside, and Hamjam has to lock up to avoid contact there. I'd literally just on board with seat saying I could just see the black front wing of the Merc just creeping into shot, and I thought Hamjam was going to try and go late on the brakes.
Look how close it is, the battle for the top 8. So close.
And worth noting as well, Mercury has got his way past Kevin, and that's where the split in the train is between Jamham and 8th, who is at the tail end of this train. He is still in touching distance, and we've got Mercury 1.5 seconds away, and he's the pilot of another train.
Yeah, so it's train central here in Britain.
Definitely, with Victor McFly and Plackett going side by side.
It's a compromise. He's losing time. Davison is defending for his life here. This is the championship. I know it's only Britain, Ritzy, but all points matter, especially in STB.
And what's crucial as well, Maldy, is that if Davison is going to, if he's going to choose this hill to die on in terms of aggressive defending, fair defending, firm defending, then he's going to push Bruno Will into Seatsy, into Hamjam, into Victor McFly, into everybody that's in this train waiting to just pounce at the chance. And Davison's already trying to let the slipstream. He's having to take unconventional lines in the straight just to try and break that powerful slipstream.
Yeah.
But again, Bruno Will not quite getting close enough to the back of the Williams to make any real threat.
Billy's getting involved as well. Don't cut out Billy. Billy's having a very good race at the moment. P7, Rixie. Takes Shea's
those yellow flags.
Checkers spam. Checkers out.
Does he get any damage? What we can see. Oh, he's getting front left end plate.
Right, Davison's going to have to go defensive again then, Rixie. Here we go. Round number 3 for Bruno Will and Davison.
And Bruno Will is
Bruno was going to have the outside. Bruno was going to have the outside, which is the better line of round 2 anyway. Well, Davison's done it again. Davison's done it again. This is... He'll have that championship in the back of his mind, Rixie. As I said, it's only Britain, but he can pick up, 25 points here in Britain, and that, that could be a difference between getting the championship and not. Hopefully in Abu Dhabi.
Exactly.
And Jules crashed. Jules has crashed on the pit straight. This could well be safety car here. He's crashed in the middle of the circuit.
I'm going to jump on board with somebody to see. Oh, he's moving. He's parked it on the left-hand side of the track. I've just jumped on board with DJ Danny just to see what the situation was there. But Jill, this is their first retirement here in Silverstone, lap 6, and we've got 1 retirement already. And we've got Billy and Jamham gone side by side. Billy just keeping the place, any cops. Jamham's going to have the run, and he's going to try and go run the outside to the inside of cops. They're going to go side by side for Madison Beckett's. Billy just hods it once again. Yellow flags inside to 1. Both in yellow flags.
Oh, and Billy's on the circuit. Mercury follows through. Kevin's going to be on the back as well. Yeah, Kevin's done it as well now, but Bruno was 2 attempts beyond. We've got to keep on this battle, Rixie. This is the real battle of the British Grand Prix. Davison leads, followed by Bruno Will. Then we've got Zitzi close behind, 4 attempts adrift. 4th is Hamjam. 5th is Victor McFly. He's having a good race at the moment, Rixie. Victor McFly.
Definitely had a strong showing. Billy in the pits as well, Maldy. But Victor McFly doing an extremely significant job at keeping up with the top 6 at this moment in time. He's just been doing everything he needs today. He done, keeps the pace, keeps the rhythm.
Hard tyres for Billy.
And that's probably to be projected as early for the mediums. I think the mediums would probably extremely suffer if they were going to try and last to the end. So I think the Hards will probably be the sensible get me to the end of this race option on the 1 stint. So looking at this train for the top 6, I think Billy's off at Chapel is really close here because there's a big gap between himself and Placky at 1.4, and that's really put Mercury, Kevin and Shaq in touching distance and DRS range as well, each other, as well as Jamham, who will only have the DRS effect doing these two big straights. So Jam Ham's really just going to have to be the one that's piercing the hole through the air at this moment in time because he's not got that slipstream to benefit off.
Bruno Wells on the inside.
Is he going at this time?
Davizin.
They're still side by side. And Ham Jam's in. Ham Jam peeled off into the pits there in the background. He's gone for an undercut.
And Davizin keeps the lead of the British Grand Prix. This is incredible racing. Bruno Wells can try to come back at him, but Davizin. This is what we want to see defending wise.
Davizin is just putting his car in all the right places, just keeping his compatriot at bay, no giving him an inch, Maldy, and it's very firm, very elbows out defending, and it's just showing you how hungry he is for this win, really.
And Billy
Ham
Spam
Jam won the mediums.
Billy Spam.
And that's a stall.
Oh, Billy.
Billy always has strong qualifying sessions, and then in the race, with the utmost respect, he just disappears. Like, I'm just hoping he does find some kind of rhythm soon, because knowing that he could win races and he's no anywhere near points, never mind wins, it's a hard hit.
What about them? Bruno Wells. Back in that slipstream.
He's not quite gaining enough at this time. He was gaining when at least mattered there. He was getting
Mercury's
closer.
got the move done on Jam Ham. So he's looking at P6 now.
And Davidson's in, so Bruno Wells got some clear air.
Yeah,
so I think Davison might just be trying to cover the Mercedes teammate at Ham Jam, because Ham Jam pitted the lap early as well, and Silverstone's a really slow pit lane. It's like a 25, maybe even 30-second pit lane, because the limiter starts really early.
37 seconds.
37 miles per hour. It's a 37-second pit stop.
Yeah.
That is ridiculously slow. But where's it going to feed Davison in the grand scheme of things? Ham Jam's just coming through turn 1 there on your mini map there. Davison is just out. So
mediums, will they go to the end of the race?
The mediums will probably last. It will just be like a big stretch.
Oh, okay.
But I'm on board with Placky, who's just at the tail end of this battle, this train at the top 4. So, like the top 4, like see, other than Bruno Will and Davison when they were there, like at the front, there hasn't really been too many moves in other bits of this train. Like they're all just quite happy to just sit line astern. To what I'm seeing,
it's not very good for spectators, is it?
They're just like, I mean, like,
but
I understand it is. It's 3 of them pitting. Placky stays out, Mercury stays out. He's on the mediums. He's going to stay out. Kevin's in. Shark stays out. Gravity, after his grid penalty, he stays out on the mediums. Liberals on the mediums. He stays out. And Valley stays out. He's on the mediums. Norris comes in, and all the medium runners.
Let's see where Davison is.
Well, Ham Jam for close company. Ham Jam might have his teammate. If I'm being fair, he might. It just depends.
Very slow pit lane. Very slow. Right, Davison now. Where is he? He's down the pit straight now. Where is he?
Turn 1 and 2.
Has he got the jump? Yeah.
Ooh.
Ham Jam.
I think Ham's just. I think he might have maybe just pulled a bit of a strategical masterclass there to get himself past his teammate as well as everybody else in the train. So he's got himself in touching distance. Davison still remains our net leader, but Ham Jam is effectively our P2.
That is insane. What a strategy there from Ham Jam. Getting that undercut move, Rigsy. This race was always going to be about strategy.
Definitely, as much as it promotes the idea that overtaking is possible, we've seen strategy come off big time for the Mercedes as we see Davison picking up a penalty. We'll try and keep them to minimums just to kind of create the suspense. But Hamjam is going to take the role that Bruno Will had for most of the first stint, and he's going to be the one applying the pressure to the Williams. So Davison still keeps his lead net effectively, but he's going to have the other Mercedes to contend with in the form of Hamjam, and see if maybe he can try and make life that bit difficult for Davison up in front.
Yeah, and then you've got Zitzi as well on the back of the Mercedes as well, Richie. So he looks like a bit of a train foreman again.
And trains will probably just be like the main theme of this race as well. And looking at the delta times on the left hand side, it looks to be Davison, the two Mercs of Hammond, Bruno Will, and CC in that train of 4, and that's for the lead. We've got a 1.7 second gap to Placky, who decided to go 1 lap longer on his stint, and he's ended up 2 seconds behind Jamham as well. He's kind of lost it a wee bit on that as well. So you've got some winners, you've got some losers, and you've just got the middle ground.
I think one of the losers is definitely Victor McFly here.
Victor McFly, definitely. He was in the same train. He was in the same battle for the lead, and now he's behind Jamham in P13. So massively lost out there. But once all the medium runners at the front come in, he'll go up 6 places. So that will probably put him in the P6, P7 region anyway, which would still be strong points. And
he doesn't really want that though, does it? Because he was really, you know, up there in terms of getting some very good points. You know, 10 points, 8 points, like it was good. So, but I'm sure his pace, he'll be able to improve his pace as the rest goes on.
And again, we're just seeing on board Davison. I'm looking on board Davison, like looking back at the train behind. Bruno Will's looking up big time into Brooklyn's there, but like Davison's just trying to break the slipstream at every possibility. And he's always like, I mean, obviously like he's going to get these really good exits, but he's got 90% of his ERS as well. Hamjam's only got 24%. Bruno Will's also got 90, so, and then Cece's got 44. So, like the Brazilians kind of have their way about managing their ERS. So it seems
definitely
extremely high energy. So much battery energy left, but Hamjam is closing in.
Battery energy. I'm just using his all his energy here down straight to Stowe, but can get the overtake going. Davison stays in P1, so pretty impressive. Yeah, it's about the Brazilians actually really. So he's VC, FXR VC, he's on 89%. So yeah, like I think have to save it.
I don't know how they do it. Like I generally don't. Like I don't know. Like
maybe they've got some.
They just seem to have. They just must. They just seem to. Bruno Will's got a full 100% left. Oh, it's into 97 now, but he did have 100%. And once he breaks into Brooklyn, he'll go back up to 100%. So, like, they're doing a really good job in management here, like, especially when the track doesn't really have too many heavy braking zones. Like the only heavy braking zones are into Vale, into Farm, and into Brooklands. Like they're the only heavy braking zones we've got.
Yeah, maybe they've just got those cheat codes with, so they're just, you know, cheating all the time.
Might be, or they've just got this extra bit of skill set. But looking at pressure as well, Cece looked like he was right on the back of Bruno Will there, but Bruno Will's exit off Chapel was enough to keep him in place. But crucially, Davison's by VZ in front, and Hamjam he's teetering in and out of the 1 second detection zone as well. So, and it's not going to be too beneficial to have VZ, who is in a completely different strategy, in between himself and the race leader, effectively.
Yeah, Hamjam was 6 tenths slower that lap as well, compared to Davison. So I've got paid at the moment.
He's still going to have the DRS, but it's not really going to do much in the grand scheme of things. He's just had the back of Easy. Easy's just kind of kept it rooted on the racing line there. Wasn't really putting up too much of defence, but Hamjam had such an exit, such overspeed on the exit onto the Wellington straight, and it's just kind of caught himself off guard with just how much acceleration the Mercedes had at the time.
I think he's going to let these guys through rigs him, so he doesn't getting away too much.
He knows it's not his race. It's not his race to battle. It's not his race to run. He's on a completely different strategy and a completely different race. But what's crucial for Hamjam though is he's outside the ERS and he's got 8 ERS left in comparison to Bruno. And Davidson's lost a lot of ERS in the meantime. He was at 90% just a couple of laps ago. He's done it 40% now, so he's burnt a good bit just to get by. I think that was just to get by VZ and
Dan's in the pits.
Build that gap crucially. And Dan's in the pits as well. Maldi, he'll be going on to. He'll probably be going on to the soft tyres for this stage. Hards will be the safe option. Softs will be the standard. Yep. And it'll be on the softs. 11 laps on some fresh softs. We'll probably see him get to the end. But again, the soft tyres probably will just have this big drop off in performance. But lap 24, 25, so we might maybe see him skating about for the last few laps.
Yeah, he'll probably be very quick though as well on the final. The start of the stint when the tyres are, their best.
They'll definitely be
Mercury there coming around the final sector now, coming down the Wellington straight. We'll see if he's going to dive into the pit now. One set of those softs. Definitely, obviously the pit window is open up here.
There he goes again.
Going to carry on. Let's see what's going on. So Bruno will then to get past Hamjam. This is crucial in terms of championship. Well, it's quite a championship Rigsy, but at the end of the day, that's what we're going to fight for. This season, Libero out here in the pits. You're back to the pit crews. Renault versus Williams.
And Libero picks up the 5 seconds for speeding into the pit lane as well. And Danny creating yellow flags at Lovefield on the exit to the old pit straight there as well. So I think he's just in an accident for off on the exit. He's just keeping the throttle while he's run wide, kind of like a gravel trap, waiting with a big looming presence on the outside of Lovefield. So I don't know if they just clipped that and it's just sent him spinning or no, but looking at Hamjam and Bruno Will, the interteam battle, Hamjam's doing what Davison was doing earlier, and he was trying to beat the slipstream, he was trying to make it hard for his teammate. And I think Davison's just, he's not went too far away, but getting out of that DRS detection zone it just really shows you just how effective it is.
Go on, yellow, Norris! Not into the crash! Norris is out of the British Grand Prix! He's not out, sorry. He's just lost his front wing. Virtual safety car deployed.
And he's got no wing on the front of that Ferrari. The Ferrari is running wingless. As the DSC is out, and Mercury's using this time to pit, as is TMR O'Falley. And Davison and Hamjam will just come and run Stowe into Vale. He's going on to softs. How long's this VSC out for? That is my question, literally just been answered. It is back under green. Mercury is in the pits, which will have saved him a lot of time. Where is he going to come out in the grand scheme of things? I think he might come out just in front of Kevin. Or is he coming right on the tail end of this train? He is, Mercury.
Oh,
Mercury,
wow.
Mercury, Maldi.
Let's set softs as well, Riggs. This could well still be maybe not a podium, but maybe a top 5 finish.
The top 5 is literally the front of this train that he's just joined, and he's on much fresher rubber, so that VSC's helped massively for the Alfa Romeo driver. So extending the stint has helped out quite significantly here for Mercury. and he's just finding himself tucked up right behind Jamham, who's tucked up right behind Victor McFly, who's tucked up right behind Placky, and so on and so forth up to Hamjam, as they're all in that one continuous DRS train as they were on the first stint.
Here for it. Inject it.
These final 9 laps are going to be quite something, as Mercury is going to be right on the back of Jamham. He's going to have to make quick work on these drivers if he wants to make the soft tyres work. But just looking at the grip that he's got through Stowe alone, just definitely shows that the pace is there. It's just about... That's a village. That's no worries. DJ Danny's just really hovering. I think as soon as he got his jump start penalty, I think it's just been a big snowball effect for there in just terms of getting worse. But
yeah,
looking,
he's not done very well there.
Oh, Mercury had a bit of a twitch there. Sorry, Mal, just to kind of cut you off there for what you're going to say, but Mercury was right up on the rear of Jamham there and looked like he could have got the move done, but he had such a big snapper oversteer on the exit. He kind of lit up his rear right on the curb, and it's allowed Jamham to breathe a bit of fresh air. But this time around, it might not be the same story. Mercury's going to try and look up the inside, but he's just not going to get alongside enough. I think Jamham's using everything that he's got in his tank to defend it and make it that bit harder for Mercury. But if he can just manage it through here, and you can just see that Jamham's not quite got the grip through there, but Mercury does own that much softer rubber. And again, just looking at this closing speeds, Jamham's going to go defensive, and then he moved again, but Mercury's going to go up the inside, and I think this might just be an easy move for the Alfa Romeo, which it is. I don't know.
Mercury needs to try and defend.
Oh, there you go. That was close.
But Murphy's been very quick on this the next few laps, really. So stuff's going to be coming a lot.
And Mercury will be on his merry way through the field, hopefully. That might just be the beginning. As we're on board with Victor McFly, who's right on the back of Placky. They'll know quite... On you go, Murray.
He just needs to save his DRS a lot. If you just want to attack the Victor McFly and Placky, and perhaps maybe Zitsig for that good finish. He's got 32%, so that's not very good.
It's definitely no in the grand scheme of everything. I think everybody else around about him was on average 30% with him, but Bruno Will was on 80. So if he ever gets to the chance of trying to overtake the Mercedes, and I think he might be in for a bit of a tough time in terms of ERS management if the story goes the way it is. But he's just got the grip through all the turns, and it's just purely softer rubber. That's all it really is to it. And he's probably going to get Victor McFly somewhere on the next lap anyway. And Jamham is still doing everything that he can to keep himself in the DRS range, so he is still there, only 8/10 of a second split himself from Mercury. But looking at the gaps and how they're really just kind of teetering along, then Jamham might be out of that DRS range before too long.
Yeah, gap to 6/10 then, we'd say. Under 6/10, but what about that DRS, you know, like it's difficult. Obviously, Victor McFly's got DRS on Placky, and that's going to, you know, pull him under a bit. So, you know, it'll be quite difficult for Mercury, but Mercury does have those soft compound tyres, so he's cornering, you know, he's going to be a lot better than Victor McFly's and Placky's and Zitz's and anyone else on the field, really.
Definitely, the soft tyres will just have much better connection between the car and the tarmac, so we definitely will expect to see maybe a move on Victor McFly, depending how his run is through Magnus and Beckus. I'll sit on board with him, for the last couple of laps because he is probably the one making the most ground, but just looking at the grip that the car's got through there, Victor McFly's ran wide, and that's going to be enough to put him in the back foot. Mercury's got the DRS open, ERS is deployed, closing speeds is massive here. As you can see him closing in, up the inside. Victor McFly's not really defending it. He's probably still got dirt in his tyres. He's not going to care. And he's just going to let Mercury go. And he's going to pick up a penalty for a double slam there in terms of bad luck. But Mercury's up to P6.
Sweet delight, really. You know, taking advantage of Victor McFly's mistake up the inside of Stowe. And, yeah. Pretty textbook from Mercury there.
It's been a big move there for the Alfa Romeo, and it's going to get him into range with Placky, who this is for P5. On board with Bruno Will and Hamjam. Bruno Will not really quite looking like he's planning an attack at any point soon. I think he might be saving that ERS for the final 2 laps or so, just to kind of go for a final last ditch effort. But Liberals switch places with Shark for P10, and that's crucial because that's for the final point as they keep switching places. As I jump in to see what the battle is Liberals up the inside of Lovefield. Shark odds it long way round. Liberal gets the place, and he keeps it through Cops as well. Where is everybody at the front? Bruno Will closing in, his teammate basically pushing him round Stowe. Hamjam just keeping the place there, and it's 1.8 seconds between Hamjam and Davison at the front, so it isn't as big as it once was.
Sorry, 70% ERS.
He's just got so much confidence in not even using his battery. He just sit in the slipstream and just wait for the right time. He's going to just deploy it in one big go doing one of these big straights, and he's going to leave Hamjam in his own dust, because Hamjam's on 14% and it's hard to manage it when you've not really got a reference in front of you, and you've not got a slipstream to help pull you along, so you're going to have to be the one that basically effectively does that for somebody else. And unfortunately for Hamjam, he's doing that for his teammate, as he's allowing his teammate to save ERS and save fuel and save everything else in between in the slipstream. So Bruno will probably launch a late attack for P2 in the next couple of laps, maybe lap 25, 26. He'll leave it right to the end so that his teammate doesn't have any real response, fight back to the move. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like that's the move that will be written in terms of that. But Danny's off again in sector 2.
DJ Danny, he's going the wrong way. No, he's not. Sorry, I thought he was going the wrong way. He spun again. Danny's giving me Felipe Massa 2008 vibes.
He is. Massa had a really bad time here all the years ago in the all Silverstone layout, and it was that Lewis Hamilton dominant win, like he won by like every minute, and Massa just couldn't get the car hooked up, and he spun like, I'm not even joking when I say it was like 8 times, like it was something mental like that. He just couldn't keep the car facing the right way.
He didn't have a very good time, did he? Oh, and Danny again span.
Well, we might as well get the fingers up and just see how many times that is now at this point. But I mean, DJ Danny, I think it just has
on the inside, Mercury's on the inside. What move?
There's a big stark contrast in fortune at Alfa Romeo, where one is just like no had to race at anybody's vision. Like, we know he's so much better than that, and then we've got one who's just cutting his way through the field at the front, and he's going to have Seatsay probably doing the hanger straight into Stowe as well, when the only drivers in front of Seatsay is the 2 Mercs and Davison. Is the podium on as he makes his way past the Renault for P4?
No, because obviously we've got Hamjam, Bruno Will, who's battling. Bruno Will is battling. Hamjam. It could well be that if they keep battling a lot, Mercury could have a chance here, but I don't think he will. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's definitely got the pace, Riggsy, but I don't think he's got the pace over the 2 Mercedes drivers. He's just been dominant so far this season in terms of the constructors, just like real life.
History repeats itself very often. both in the game and in real life. They like to kind of close correlations there, but Bruno Will again just looking to close the gap in on his teammate, and I think, I mean, if they end up getting caught in that civil war kind of idea we were talking about earlier, Mercury could just creep in the back door and just say, I'm here for P2 and take it. Like, it's not over. I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination.
I think it is. Because Mercury's still losing time with these when these drivers are battling, so. But we'll see.
Because say they go for it again doing the hangar straight, which they're going to be. Yeah. Right, so if they go side by side through Stowe, if Hamjam's pushing his teammate out to the outside, which he is, and they're making contact!
There's been a spin! Hamjam's out of the British Grand Prix! Oh, my commiseration! Rixie called it! Rixie called it here in Britain! What a call there from Rixie. You are amazing. Mercury's up for a podium here in Britain. Is that going to be a penalty for Bruno Will?
What we could see, I was on board with Bruno Will, then I switched to the broadcast camera and he was just getting running the outside, and then I just seen his team, I just seen Hamjam on the inside just getting clipped at the front, and then he's just gone backwards on the exit of Stowe, and he's in P8. I mean, I really don't want to comment on it. I don't really what happened 100%. But it just looked to be Hamjam was pushing his teammate out to go the long way run, which I mean he's perfectly entitled to do. He left the space on the outside, Bruno Will trying to go run the outside, and I don't really know what happened there. I don't know if Hamjam understeered or Bruno Will just turned in a bit early or whatever, or if it's just a racing incident. I don't know.
At the moment it looks like Bruno Will is going to win this British Grand Prix.
He's going to win?
He's got no penalties. Davison has got a penalty.
Ah, right. I was going to say, alright, Maldi, he's going to put 1.9 seconds out his back pocket.
Well, Davison needs to pull out 1.1 seconds.
I mean, Bruno Will again has just been saving his ERS, but I mean, I don't think Bruno Will definitely be taking his result with a pinch of salt after that. And the last thing, they've broke the cardinal sin, Maldi. You don't touch your teammate. You don't take out your teammate. You don't do it. I'm sure we've seen it already in the season, not with Mercedes, but with another team. I'm can't mind who it was for the life of me, but you don't take out your teammate. It's the #1 rule in racing. I'll not be too surprised. I'll not be too surprised if the stewards will have to deal with that. In my honest opinion.
Definitely. That will be something to look out for the stewards, but Davison does deserve the victory. I'm not going to lie, Rixie. Davison's driven an incredible race today. Unfortunately, he's going to lose out on penalties. If he not pull out, you know, that gap he needs, 0.5 seconds on Bruno Will.
And Mercury's going to have it all today to hold seat saying that behind. I think he's got the best out of his soft tyres, and he's just going to do everything to try and break the slipstream here, and he's going to have to do everything in his power to just
compromise his line. Actually, compromise his line, but I think he's done it.
But while that's all happening,
but this is on the inside. Mercury's going to try it. Mercury's going to go very, very defensive.
And they're going to just fight over it for the line.
So close, Mercury P6.
I've just completely missed Davison and Bruno Will crossing the line, but it is Bruno Will that does take a checkered flag, as you say, Maldi, even though he was P2 on the track.
Blacky's got his first podium in his second race, so we will be speaking to him hopefully on the podium. We'll speak to Hamjam as well, see what he thought of the crash.
And then Blackie rounds out Jamham and Hamjam P4 and P5, so they had no penalties in the race. Seat say gets the penalties. Mercury only loses it in 6 by 200ths of a second. And then Kevin loses it by 700ths of a second to P6 as well. So P6 ended up being extremely close. Victor McFly, after a strong qualifying, still takes P9, which is some points in gravity after his grid penalty, ends up taking the final point here in Silverstone as we get the transition to the podium. I'm quite lost for words. I feel like that's going to be a turning point now. I feel like that's going to be a big statement. Definitely not be too happy to see that, but it is Bruno Will that takes the win.
I mean,
if the penalties,
a pretty good race. I don't say so myself, but I think that was a very good.
Definitely, I feel like Silverstone's always quite good for its actual racing. Like, I feel like it's a really strong track on the calendar.
But your race winner in the end, Rigsy, was Bruno Will. Second was Davies in third. His first podium in STB is AMS Blackie. Fourth, Jam Ham. Fifth, Ham Jam, which we will try and speak to about that collision with his teammate. Sixth was Zitzi. Seventh was Mercury, disappointing. He did cross the line in third, so we'll be speaking to him. Eighth is Kevin. Ninth, Victor McFly. 10th, Gravity. 11th is TMR off LA. 12th is Dan. 13th was Libro. 14th was Billy. 15th was Shark. 16th BC. 17th Norris. 18th was 19th was Sherkat. And 20th was Joel. So we're going to speak to the third place man first, who's AMS Placky. Placky, have you got a mic for us to?
Yes. Yes.
Can
you hear me?
I'd like to include your audio. So a pretty solid race. A pretty solid race for you, Placky. No penalties, as I see. How was the race for you, and how are you feeling about a podium? Pretty solid race this evening.
Yeah, I'm very happy, pleased with the first podium in STB. Yeah, it was a solid race with, it was a little bit chaotic, but yeah, I think it is a solid race, had solid race pace, maybe better for P1 or P2, but I think I didn't let the Alpha too easily pass me, because I didn't want trouble, because I knew from the engineer that he had a penalty. So yeah. I'm very happy with this result. So
yeah, thank you, Placky. You crossed the line in P3, but obviously you lost that on penalties. But how's the adrenaline in the final stint? Because you did cut your way through the field quite a bit.
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I think the virtual safety car came out at the perfect time, but it could have just been a little bit longer and I would have jumped them. But it was really, really difficult to overtake all of them in the slipstream train. They've all got DRS on the car ahead, and it's impossible to overtake. So I tried to be as patient as I could, but obviously I knew that I had a penalty hanging over my head, because I had to push so hard in that first stint to keep with them.
Okay. It's been a recurring theme, Mercury, with your penalties. What are you gonna? What's going on? Like, what do you think you need to do next time in Hungary so you don't get so many penalties? Because it is really affecting you and your results.
Well, I think only the last two races have been ones where I've struggled with penalties, really. There was obviously a good result in France, which kept my nose clean, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's difficult to try and keep your nose completely clean. The guys at the top are really good at that. So, yeah, we'll work on it.
Okay. Thank you, Mercury. Thank you, Rigsy. I don't think Hamjam is going to be with us. I think, yeah, he's had to go do something, or he's fearing about the crash. I don't know, or he's trying to calm down. I don't know. But Rigsy, thanks for joining me in the commentary box this evening for the British Grand Prix. I'm sure the stewards will be looking into that collision between the two Mercedes drivers. Well done to Placky on the podium. Well done to Davidson and Bruno Will as well. So yes, that concludes your Tier 1 British Grand Prix. Do join us tomorrow, Tier 2 British Grand Prix, and also we have a break next week. But after the break week, we go to the Hungaroring in Budapest, Hungary, for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So do join us in 2 weeks' time for the Tier 1 Hungarian Grand Prix. But until then, you can join us tomorrow for Tier 2 Britain. We'll see you next time.